Hey, gang, coming up on our Finding Better podcast, Chuck Cuda is joining us, and he has an amazing story. He was living the American dream and he ended up in prison. He's going to talk about this story, and we're going to talk about how he recovered and what he did being an ex con and how he succeeded. And his road to success was incredible. He went from being a prisoner to a major philanthropist, and now he's helping so many people. It's an amazing story. You're going to want to hear it. I learned a ton, and so will you. Please share this. Here we go. Hello, 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 and welcome back to our Finding Better podcast. My name is John Suzuki, and I am your host. And this is where we share real life experiences, not opinions, not academics, not theories. Because, sometimes I have found that a lot of times the best path to success is to follow in the footsteps of others who've been there and done what we want to do. My guest today is Chuck Cuda. Chuck, welcome to Finding Better. Thanks for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me, John.
Yeah, all right, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Chuck's talk is about betting on yourself and how betting on yourself can change your life. We're going to talk about his experience from going from prison to what he calls a perfect purpose-driven life and leadership. So here's his background. We're going to talk about how Chuck turned one of the darkest chapter into his life into a blueprint for resilience, entrepreneurship, and purpose. Okay. His hope and my hope is that some of you will walk away knowing that no setback is final. And folks, there are lots and lots of setbacks in today's world, aren't there? And that betting on yourself, even when it's uncomfortable, is the most powerful and most valuable investment you can make. Betting on yourself. Okay. He wrote a memoir. And in his memoir called Ego Strength, Betting on Myself, Chuck shares how a life-altering decision led him to prison and how that experience in prison became a catalyst for building a legacy rooted in integrity, growth, and grit. How are those things for three great topics? His story is a testament to the power of betting on yourself, even when the odds are stacked against you. And we're going to talk about some pretty raw honesty. We're going to talk about strategic insight. We're going to talk about practical tools that you can use when navigating setbacks in your life. What a cool topic. Chuck, super happy you're here. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely. Looking
Are,
forward to it.
yeah, well, we want to know about you, because this podcast is all about finding better, right? And what I don't advocate is that people do stuff and mess their lives up enough to go to prison in order to find better in their life. But the fact of the matter is your experience is one where that was, as you say, that was one of the deepest, darkest depths of your life. And you turned that into something amazing. So tell us about it.
Yeah. So, in 2009, I'll tell you kind of what led me there. In
Yeah.
2009, sports betting was not, as prevalent as it is today, and
Ooh.
it wasn't legal through the online
Okay, okay. So hold
websites
that.
like it is.
So hold that
Yeah.
thought for a second. Okay,
Yeah.
sports betting, folks. Sports betting you can do anywhere. You can do online. I mean, you can do sports betting on NFL games and NBA games and baseball games. It wasn't always like this.
That's exactly right.
And there
Yeah.
was there was a time, 2009, where all of it was illegal. Okay, so having
Yep.
said that, go ahead, Chuck.
So some buddies of mine, thought they had to work around with the online, app, and I made some bets online through this website, and
Uh-huh.
sure enough, I got a subpoena to testify in a grand jury investigation in August of 2009, and they wanted me to testify against my friends and family, and
Because it
I
was
said
online and they
because it
found
was,
you.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
and I refused to testify. So, I was in civil contempt of court for refusing to testify. They granted me the immunity and said if you don't testify, you could serve up to 18 months in a holding facility for civil contempt. So I still refused to testify, and I went to prison in October of that year.
Oh my gosh. Well, in a lot of ways, that's a testament to you. right?
Yep.
And pretty severe consequence that you had to deal with,
Yeah.
given
Yeah.
given given your values. Yep.
100%, but I held strong to my values of, obviously not bringing down. It was my mistake to even gamble on the website, do something illegal, but
There you go.
it wasn't really until Thanksgiving of that year where I created that mindset and took accountability. Before that, I was kind of blaming my friends, blaming the prosecutor, blaming this stupid law, blaming the judge for sending me away, for civil contempt, because everyone was betting. No better had ever gone to jail. I felt like until that trial, that case, and it wasn't until Thanksgiving when I said, you know what, I chose to make the decision to bet. It wasn't
There you
anybody
go.
else. Yep.
Okay. So I want to unwind that, so that part of your experience isn't lost. Okay. One of the things that I see out there, and a lot of people see out there, is the rise of victimhood. People saying, I'm a victim, someone did this. And it's all about blame. It's all
Hmm.
about blame. When you blame others for your circumstances, and this is what I found, when you blame others for what's going on around you, you become a victim.
Yep.
And the thing is that you become powerless because you've just given your power to do something about it to something or someone else. And now all of a sudden you're just blaming the world. What you did on Thanksgiving or around Thanksgiving is you came to a realization that, you know what, I can't blame anybody for this. I have to take responsibility for my own actions, right?
That's right. And then once you could take responsibility and accountability, then you could actually change the circumstance.
Yes, yes,
it,
exactly. And
yeah,
it's
if you're
one of the most
playing the
empower.
victim,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, good, awesome, awesome.
yeah,
Thank you for that.
yeah. And it is empowering. I mean, being the victim's easy. It's lazy.
It's lazy. It's
Yeah,
lazy, and it's disempowering. You're giving something else your power.
yep.
And yeah, so wonderful. What a great Thanksgiving that was, huh?
Yeah, it really was. It was one of the hardest ones, but it was probably the most important one of my entire life. It was the
Unbelievable.
first Thanksgiving, first holiday I didn't get to spend with my family. But it was literally the turning point in my life.
Wow. How was that for a value statement, folks? Right? Making that one distinction of stopping the blame and taking responsibility. That's amazing. Okay. So then what happened?
Yeah. So then, I end up getting out in February of 2010. Once they indicted the targets in the case, uh, well, once I guess convicted or worked out their settlement agreements, they released the people who were away for civil contempt because the case was in essence over. So I ended up getting out in February of 2010. Uh, I thought I was going to have my job back when I got out, and I
Oh
didn't.
boy.
I didn't. So that they decided that the company decided that the optics of me going away to jail wasn't worth the value that I would bring to the company, even though I was the top commercial real estate broker within the company for 3 years running. It was a difficult decision, or it was a difficult decision for me to swallow because all I looked at was performance. I didn't necessarily look at it the purpose that they had and why they were doing it. I was thinking, well, I mean, I added tremendous value to the company. Why are they letting me
Sure.
go? What made it even more painful is the owner and broker of the company is my uncle. So now I'm sitting there
Oh,
thinking,
bummer.
I've been away to jail for protecting, friends and family. And now my own family is basically,
Wow.
distancing themselves from me. So that was a gut punch too, John. And I said at that point, I'd already been away. I'd already decided that I'm going to be accountable for my actions. I didn't point the finger at my uncle. I took
Right.
ultimate accountability and said, again, my fault. Had I not done these things, I'd still be working for him. But what could I do now to position myself for success in the future? And immediately I just needed to earn money, because I had responsibilities, I had bills to
Sure.
pay. Uh, so I went out and I got a job driving a vending route. A buddy of mine had a vending company, so I was driving a vending route about 7, 8 hours a day. I needed health insurance, so I got a job at UPS, working nights at UPS from 7 to 10 o'clock at night, and then I was bartending at a local amusement park on the weekends. So I knew that even those three jobs weren't going to replace the income that I had from, being a commercial real estate broker. And I knew that ultimately I wanted to get back into commercial real estate brokerage because I was so successful and good at it. But I needed to find somewhere to hang my license. I needed to find someone that would see the value in me and trust that I was a changed man going forward.
You bet. Okay, so want to unwind
Yep.
or rewind a couple of
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
So and here's the thing that is just really powerful to me in terms of this part of your story is that you went from being a top performer, top deliverer, top revenue generator in commercial real estate, and now you didn't have that, right?
Yep.
And what I heard from you was that you got on your damn horse and you figured something out, right?
That's
You
exactly
refused to
right.
be the victim and you became a vending route driver. I mean, I tell people all the time, you know what? If things go bad, dig ditches,
Yeah.
do what you got to do, right? I mean, there are opportunities out there. They may not be what you want, but get busy
Yeah.
and, and survive and put your big boy pants on,
That's exactly right.
right?
Yeah,
And you did
absolutely.
that, and you had a vending route. You were with the UPS, and you worked in an amusement park. I mean,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
basically took whatever you could take, right?
That's
And
exactly right.
and
I was
and I
working
think,
harder then than ever.
and I think that it's especially hard today in the world that we live in because, I mean, companies are seem to be laying more and more people off, especially in high tech, right? And
Yep.
and I have people contacting me all the time asking me what they should do. And I'm like, okay, here's what you need to do. Uh, stand up.
Yeah.
And you know what? Some of these people who say, I've been looking for a job for the last 12 months and there's nobody hiring people at my level. Well, the old definition of insanity being trying the same thing over and over again and expecting a different
Yeah.
result, do something
Different.
different.
Yeah.
Okay?
You know what I tell people, John, when they, they,
Yeah.
they say that to me, yeah, there's nothing available at my level. What would you do? You know what I tell them? Whatever it takes.
Whatever it
Whatever it
takes.
takes. Go. You don't need to here. You don't need to go advance. When you're out of a position, you don't need to look for equal or advanced opportunity. Look for opportunity.
Just go. That's right.
Yeah.
And you know what? And what you just said right there, look for opportunities. One of the things that when you're looking for opportunities, folks, get curious.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, one of the things that we've learned out of our heads and learned out of our lives is curiosity. Because people are afraid to be curious. Curiosity kills a cat.
Yep.
Kills cats, right? But the thing that you just said about opportunities, when you become curious and you open your eyes to new things, you start seeing things differently and you start seeing things you never saw before.
Yep.
So, and you opened your eyes and you found a vending route. You opened your eyes and you found UPS at night, and you kept your eyes open. So then what happened?
So I just started meeting with a bunch of different brokerage companies, and they were all aware of who I was and what had happened, and I laid out the honest truth as to what they could expect going forward. And I got offered a job that wasn't what I wanted. I'm a sky's the limit type guy, so I didn't want to be constrained by a salary. I wanted to get back into the 1099
You bet.
miscellaneous,
You bet.
commission based structure. And I ended up finding a friend of mine had another brokerage company, and he ended up allowing me to hang my license there and gave me an opportunity. But that wasn't as something as just simple as, okay, I'm going to go put my license here. I'm going to build my business back up immediately. So I was still, now I'm doing the vending route, from like 4 in the morning to noon. And then I'm, cold calling prospects from 12 to 5. Then I'm working UPS 7 to 10, rinse and repeat 5 days a week, and then still doing the bartending, on the weekends. So, it was like Dave Ramsey, gazelle intense. But once I started to build that business back up, then I was able to start to drop things off. So then I'd give up the vending route. Then I'd give up, the bartending. I actually kept the UPS job for 10 years because it was a great opportunity as I got married and I and I had, uh, I started having kids and my wife
UPS is
and
a great company to work for.
yeah,
It's a great company.
full health, dental and vision. And I'm
Yeah,
working
yeah,
15 hours a
totally.
week. Yeah.
Totally. That's right. So, so that, okay. So, yeah, there's a lot to unwind there. So you didn't, you did stuff, right? So after this vending thing and the UPS thing and the bartending thing, you found an opportunity. You found that crack in the, you found that crack in the door, and you said, okay, I got to do that. I'm going to do this. It didn't, obviously it didn't replace everything that you were doing. So you kept doing all those things and this new thing until you could build it up,
Yep.
right?
That's
And
right.
you worked your ass off
Absolutely.
because that's what we do.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. Okay. So I presume that you kept getting more and more successful to the extent that you were able to let go of the bartending, let go of the vending route. You kept the UPS thing, and then what happened?
So then I started, looking at investment opportunities. I always wanted to get into ownership, real estate ownership, business ownership. So as I started to acquire some wealth. Well, I shouldn't say I was wealthy at the time. As I had some disposable income, I
There you
started to
go.
acquire assets. So I started looking at distressed assets to redevelop, stabilize, and flip, just to kind of turn my capital. So I bought a building in Kansas City, Missouri for, the first real estate purchase I made was in 2011. And I bought a building for like $88,000. The owner was out of Arkansas, had been stripped of copper, needed a new roof, needed a lot of improvements.
Mm.
I ended up doing all the improvements. I put a Cricket wireless in there, sold it all within, like a 6 or 8 month period and made like $50,000. I went and turned that into 100. And then I just started parlaying the capital, just turning the capital. I ended up getting into my first business opportunity, which was right across the street from that building that I bought. There was an old distressed coin op laundromat. Uh, the owner was about 80 years old. I walked into that one day and just said, hey, I'd love an opportunity to buy this. You need some equipment updates. You probably don't want to put the capital into it. Looks like you've owned it for a while, about 20, 30 years. I think he said he owned it for 30 years. So I ended up buying that building and then that business. And that was the start of a coin laundry. I don't want to say empire, but I had three coin op laundromats at one point. Started getting into other business opportunities, other real estate opportunities. I've done retail coffee shops, outpatient PT clinics that I sold to Select,
Okay,
and
so
I
wait,
used.
wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Okay, so
Yeah,
now we're getting into things are starting to blossom, right?
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
the blossom, to get things to blossom takes a lot of fertilizer that I call bullshit. That you have to go through, and you have to shovel that crap, and you have to, and you have to water, and it takes work
yeah,
to get things to the point of blossoming. And so you set a path, and that path was you're gonna invest in real estate,
yeah,
and you started with an $80,000 investment building that you bought, and you
yeah,
went from there, right?
yeah.
Um, is anything that you did, I mean, was your success down that path unique to you? I mean, are you the only person in the world who could have done what you did,
Not at all. Not at all.
right? Who could do such a thing like you did? I mean, do you have
Anyone,
to be a nuclear physicist and what?
no, anyone who's willing to put forth the time, effort, and take the risk. You've got to be willing to bet on yourself. You've got to be willing to take chances. You can't just sit back and have that limited mindset that only the wealthy could buy commercial real estate. I mean, at the time of my first acquisition, I mean, here candidly, I ended up borrowing. I didn't borrow money from a bank. I borrowed the money from a family friend. I didn't have the 80,000 plus the 40,000 I needed for improvements. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
borrowed money from a family friend and just sold her on the idea of what I was going to do and that I would make the payments. And here's the plan, the strategy, and sold her on my work ethic and ability to execute. So anybody could do it if they've got the plan and the ability to execute. I mean, you
And
can't
even
just
yeah, you can't
yeah, I
just
mean, you can't just wish it. You got
Right.
to actually put the activities is what produces the results.
Right, exactly. And people say, "Well, I don't have a plan. I don't know what a plan is." Talk about the plan because you came up with a plan that made sense to you, right?
That's right.
I mean,
That's right.
nine out of 10 people out there who are listening, your plan wouldn't make sense to them,
Right.
right? Even though you started, well, you didn't even start at ground level. You started kind of 6 feet under, right? And you had to dig yourself, you had to dig
That's
yourself
right.
out of that to get to ground level.
And
But
and it's going to be different for everybody. I mean,
yes,
you said it right there. And I mean, everybody's goals, everybody's ambitions are going to be different too. I mean, I've always been a guy that's like a high functioning visionary that always wants more. And it's not just more so that I could selfishly have more. I'm just a competitive person that likes growing things, likes scaling things, likes developing. And I understand legacy's probably the most important part of my life. It's not
right.
what I could grow and take with me. It's what I leave behind. That's from a personnel perspective at my companies. That's my 4 kids. That's from a philanthropic perspective. I mean, we do a ton of work for charity. So I mean, success looks different for everybody, but it's the idea that you could do whatever it is that you want to do. If you have if you have that dream, that vision, and you put forth a plan, you could achieve it,
Yeah.
regardless of what it is.
And you talked about having your plan and rinse and repeat, right? The best plans in my that I've found in my life are plans like that, where you can set a plan and then do it over and over and over and over again. And that's what you did. And the other thing that we kind of talked about, I'm just going to refer to one of my favorite quotes by Warren Buffett, who said the greatest investment you can ever make is the investment in your own education,
Yeah,
in your own experience. And that's what you did, right? I mean, this whole conversation is about betting on yourself.
that's right.
Yeah. So then what happened?
Yeah, so it just kind of snowballed, and like I said, my desire and my passion to build and grow and scale and try different things because, uh, John, I've always been an entrepreneur. I mean, I started a Christmas light business when I was in late in high school, my senior year in high school, and I used to
Okay.
hang residential Christmas lights, and
Oh, that's
I'd pick up
awesome.
25,000 in a winter. So I've
Wait,
always wanted
what?
to, yeah, yeah. I
Putting
mean,
up Christmas lights?
yeah, I did up to 150 houses one year. Yeah.
$25,000?
Yeah, as a high school kid and then college kid. Yeah.
Holy cow.
So it led me to a lot of different opportunities. And the real estate, being in commercial real estate and seeing all these entrepreneurs and these business guys, I gained a lot of knowledge. I uh I had a lot of opportunity in front of me as well, where guys maybe were undercapitalized, looking to scale, looking to grow. So that's what led to me getting into the physical therapy business. A friend of mine was a physical therapist by trade, undercapitalized, didn't really have a business mind, great clinical guy. He had one brick and mortar location. So I helped him scale and grow that to 4 locations. And
Wow.
we sold that to Select, and it just led to numerous opportunities, home health, hospice companies. I've got a vertically integrated cannabis company that I'm the CEO of today. Uh,
Okay. Well, there you go.
there's,
Physical therapy to cannabis. It,
yeah, there's
it
a
kind of
lot of,
works. Works.
there's a lot of businesses and a lot of business ventures, but what I realized was it doesn't matter what the industry is. As long as you have the drive, the motivation, the desire to learn it, and you have the ability and to look at the strategy, look at the market dynamics, see where you could improve efficiencies. It doesn't matter whether it's coin op laundromats, retail coffee shops, outpatient PT. Business is business. You, you
And
know,
and if you don't have the strategy and you don't have the knowledge and you don't have the understanding, go get it.
Go get it.
Go get it. There's
Yep.
nobody out there who's going to put handcuffs on you for learning,
No,
right? There's
that's
no
right.
the point that you said, it could be anything, folks. It could be anything. I'm just looking around here. I've got this microphone. I got this computer. I've got my cell phone. I've got my notebook. I've got this pen. I've got a sweatshirt. I've got a fireplace behind me. I've anything.
That's right. That's right. Literally.
I mean, it's open your eyes, right?
When
Get
people,
curious.
oh, get curious. When people say all the time, you know, this is my biggest pet peeve. Well, that's not how we've always, or this is how we've always done it. Well, if we've done things
Yes.
how we've always done it, then we'd still be riding horse and buggy to work,
Yep,
but
that's right.
instead we all drove in cars, some of them electric cars. I mean, you have to be willing to say, I'm going to disrupt, even if you're disrupting your thought process. I'm going to disrupt something and I'm going to make a change today and it's going to be for the better.
Or I'm gonna make something 1% better.
That's right. Yep.
1% better, right? You
Yep.
got a business opportunity.
Yeah.
And it's wild. There's just so much out there that but we've all been conditioned through and I'm not going to get into conspiracy theories, but we've all been conditioned through our education system,
Oh, for sure.
right?
Yep.
That we are only we're only as good as the rest of the world views us as being. We're only as good as what we think we are,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And if you're limiting yourself in your thinking, that's how good you are. If
Yep.
you're expanding and you're exploding out of the realm of acceptable possibility, it's just amazing what you can do. And you clearly built something amazing from the beginnings of prison, of being an ex-convict, with even your uncle telling you to go to hell.
Yeah. And you know what helps? I think breaking free of the shackles of fear. You, you
The
know,
shackles
I,
of,
fear,
oh my
fear.
God,
So many people are afraid to take
absolutely.
chances. So
They're
many people play it
paralyzed.
conservatively, and
Yep.
they're like, I can't do that. I can't do you can't do it because you're not able, or you can't do it because you're afraid of the failure.
Right.
And having hit rock bottom and knowing what it takes and how quickly you can bounce back, especially these people at a young age. I mean, take chances.
Yes.
break
Yes.
free, break free of the shackles of the fear.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're under 30 or even under 40, right? I mean, try, experiment. You
Yeah,
can manage your risk.
yeah,
But like you said, Chuck, I mean, the biggest thing holding all of us back is fear. And 99% of the time, those things that we fear the most never happen. And folks, you think back on your life, think back on the things that you're fearful of today, and you ask yourself, what are the chances of this actually happening? And 1%, half a percent, and some of you are going to go, yeah, but that chance is there, right? Well, the chance is there that you're going to win the lottery, and it's not going to happen, folks. But it's the same kind of thing. Um, so, all right. So, what does your life look like today?
yeah. So today, I'm the CEO of, like I said, a vertically integrated cannabis company. So my primary focus is on growing and scaling a cannabis company. That when I took over, we had three retail dispensaries in Missouri, one cultivation in Missouri, and one manufacturing in Missouri, and now we've got 12 retail dispensaries in Missouri, three cultivation facilities, two manufacturing. We're in Arizona, we're in Illinois. So my daily life is scaling and growing a cannabis company and a powerful multi-state operator. I still have my commercial real estate brokerage and development company, and I've kind of grown my real estate portfolio horizontally through the cannabis assets. Uh, because we own the dispensary buildings, we own the cultivation facilities through real estate holdings companies. So I've managed to continue to grow that. I've got a family social club that is a membership driven social club that I developed as a way to try and make my life a little more convenient, have meaningful relationships, get kids off of devices, get them outside interacting with others. We've got
Really?
about Yeah, we've got about 380 members. That's where I'm
How
sitting right now. We have a theater in the social club.
how cool is that? And I'm gonna say something jokingly that is folks, today, just like the online gambling stuff. today cannabis is legal in 2009. If
Yeah,
he
would
did
have
this
gotten
in
in trouble.
2009, he would have been in jail for a lot more than
Yeah.
18. So yeah,
That's
so folks, there's a message in there too, right?
uh,
New opportunities are coming up all the time.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, I tell my kids that. So I've got four kids too. I coach three little league baseball teams. I've got a professional employers organization. I'm serial
That's
entrepreneur,
wonderful.
own and operate six businesses. Uh, the primary focus, for me is growing next generational leaders right now. It really is. I mean, from the CEO perspective, we do a lot of training, a lot of development. Not only are we growing and scaling the business itself, but it's really about growing the people within the organization, which gives us the ability to scale and grow faster,
You
more
bet.
quickly,
You
yeah,
bet.
than others. Uh, so,
Okay,
and
so
then developing my kids.
wait. Okay,
Yeah,
so I just want to talk about something you just said.
yeah, yeah,
When you train your people and you focus on your people and you take care of your people and you give your people the tools to be successful, you can grow your business faster,
that's
right?
100%.
That's what you just
Yep,
said.
yep.
And because people always say, yeah, you want to invest in your people, and the people are most important asset, and yet they treat them like shit, right? And it's what have you done for me lately? When you invest in folks and you help folks grow and you help folks be successful in what you hired them to be successful in, and you invest in your people, I mean, your experience, what you just said, is that it enables you to do better business faster and grow, right?
100%. In finding the right talent and training and hiring the right talent and giving them the autonomy, empowering them, uh, and growing them into leaders so that you don't have to manage. I could never do everything that I do today if I
Right.
didn't have the right people in place.
Exactly. Exactly. So, so how is your personal life? I mean,
Person,
how has we've been talking about your professional life and your
mhm.
career and your business
Yeah,
and things like that. But, the fact of the matter is we do all those things that I just said in terms of business for something else, and that's normally our
yeah,
families and whatever life we want to live. So how has things gone on that side of the ledger?
yeah. Fantastic. I mean, shortly after I got out, my wife and I got married in June of 2010. So we just celebrated our 15-year anniversary.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we've got, and she was with me through the darkest of times, and now is riding the wave. We've got four kids, three boys and a girl. They're 11, 10, 8, and 5. We're getting ready to go to Disney World today, actually.
Oh, that's
So,
awesome.
yeah,
Oh, they're
so I mean,
great ages.
oh,
Great ages.
fantastic.
5 to 11.
Yep.
You're just about okay. So I'm just going to make this really short, but there comes a point in time, right in the early teens, when all of a sudden you go from hero to zero, right? That's just part of being a dad.
Yep.
And the thing I'll tell you, and maybe we can have a conversation about this some other time, but I will tell you that it takes 10 years, but they do come home. They
10
come
years is a
home.
long time.
It is a long time. I call it the dumb decade. And, and it's a decade in which all of their friends are so much smarter and so much cooler than you.
Yep.
And you can't do anything right if your life depends on it. And at some point in time, normally in their early to mid 20s, they come home and they
Yeah.
realize that, maybe there is something cool about mom and dad, you know?
Well,
Yeah.
I hope I could shorten that timeline somehow, get it to like 5 years instead of 10.
Yeah. It's all about love, man. It's all
That's right.
about love.
But
That's
but I
all.
mean, for me, John, balance is paramount. I mean, you can't just be about personal or professional development. I mean, to have a true life of abundance, you've got to have the professional, the personal, the work-life balance, spiritual. I mean, a lot of what I do is geared towards my family, and my kids specifically, and I say that with the utmost love and respect for my wife. I mean, with having four kids, we just spend more time with our kids probably than we do with each other.
Absolutely.
I mean, we
Yeah.
still are are intentional about it. You have to be intentional with every
You have to.
aspect of life.
And I wanted to ask you that, right? I mean,
Yeah.
people are always looking for the work-life balance. And it's funny because here goes the blame thing again, right? They'll blame their companies because they don't have work-life balance. But I tell them, listen, that work-life balance is up to you,
It
right?
is.
It's
Yeah.
your decision on and empower yourself. There goes that blame thing again. So how do you do that? For people who are in the middle of their careers and they're working
Mhm.
60, 80 hours a week because a lot of people do, or whatever, whomever they are.
Yeah.
How do you get to that point of having that work-life balance that you want?
Yeah, that intentionality is important. I mean, you have to say enough's enough. Be intentional about your time blocking, your scheduling, even if that includes, hey, wife, we're going to go to dinner every Friday or every Tuesday. It doesn't have to be a weekend. It can be during the week. Just make sure that you're giving them the time that they deserve,
Or
and
you make a decision to have dinner together as a family every
as
night.
a family.
And you do,
At the
and you make that becomes an intention and that becomes a decision.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I'm not a brain surgeon that's on call 24/7. I'm not a heart surgeon or a surgeon. No one is. If I don't, I used to think, oh my gosh, I got to be there for my clients, beck and call all the time. No, you don't. You don't. You have to set parameters too. You have to let your clients know that, hey, uh, you're important to me, but so is my life.
Yeah.
And my life doesn't just revolve around work. There's more meaningful things to life. And if you don't have that balance, eventually you're going to burn out anyway, or you're going to say, I don't have time. I don't have time to do this. I don't have time to do this. And you're going to neglect the other things that are important to you. And then by the time you realize it, it's going to be too late to get them
Yep.
back, or you're going to have to fight harder to get them back.
Boy, what a life lesson that is, right? I mean, think about the first person I thought of was Steve Jobs. When he was in his deathbed, it is said that he said, "I missed it. I
Yep.
missed it. I became one of the most powerful and most admired people in the world, but I missed it." And what did he miss? He missed the love. He
Yeah.
missed love in his life. And uh, you know, don't let that happen. Be intentional about it. Make a
Yep.
decision that
Yeah.
of what's really important to you. Um, okay. We can go on and on forever having this conversation. This has been so, so cool because I feel like folks who are listening will get little nuggets of just all kinds of stuff from this conversation. Um, but out of respect for your time, let's continue with the idea that you're going to close us out.
Yeah.
Okay,
All
go.
right. So what's my idea to close it out?
Well, I first of all, I want you to tell us about your life because we
Yeah.
talked about, in the introduction, we talked about life with purpose,
Yep.
and I believe that life without purpose is a
Yeah.
lost life.
Yeah,
So, yeah, talk about that
that's a good
as
point.
it relates to everything
To
going
everything.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, so what's important to me and really why it's so important for me to have this work-life balance and this Oak Ridge Family Social Club that I'm sitting in right now was really a brainchild. My dad is a non-Hodgkin's follicular lymphoma survivor.
Oh,
Dad was diagnosed in 2015 and he was only 58 years old at the time. And it went into remission, cancer went into remission, and it came back more aggressively. And when it came back, they recommended a bone marrow transplant, an allogenic bone marrow transplant, where we went to the donor registry and they couldn't find a 10 out of 10 match, which is pretty rare. As a matter of fact, they couldn't even find a 9 out of 10 match, which was really rare. And they ended up taking me as a bone marrow donor as a haploidentical. So I got to give the greatest gift back to my father, which was life and
that's
donate my
amazing.
bone marrow. So we did a transplant in May of 2017. Dad's still cancer free today. But through that process, I realized that I was dad's legacy, and I had three boys or two boys at the time. My wife was pregnant with our third. And, those kids, it made me realize how important kids are to your legacy
Oh,
and to building the future. And as I'm sitting there and I'm looking at these kids on chemo drips and at MD Anderson down in Houston, it became really important to me to give back not just my time in raising awareness for cancer research, but uh, monetarily for cancer research. So I started a charitable foundation, Opus Charitable Foundation, and we've given we've had events, we've had galas. I started a green tie gala where the money started. It was in the name of my dad, but then it seemed like every year someone else was getting diagnosed with cancer who was a contributor. So then we would donate in their name, in their name. We had four galas, raised over $2 million for cancer research.
Wow.
Yeah, we do events, several events here at Oak Ridge. We do a Kentucky Derby party, but our charitable foundation now, I've committed $1.75 million to pediatric cancer research over a 3-year period, and 2026 will be the last year. So we've donated about 750 already. This is an LLS initiative, Leukemia Lymphoma Society, for which I'm on the board of now. So I give time, make financial contributions, and then raise money and raise awareness. But all of my book proceeds are actually going to Opus Charitable Foundation. So anytime someone buys a book, 100% of the proceeds go to charity. Our charitable organization does work with FACE Foundation for Autism, MS Society, Next Step, KC, which is a spinal cord and paralysis rehabilitation center. And we give to various 501c3s, but our primary focus is pediatric cancer research and cancer research in general. So
So, so all this has led to your purpose of what?
legacy. So for me, legacy is everything. It's giving back. It's not what I could take with me. It's what I leave behind, and that goes from that. That's why it's so important to me to cultivate these leaders too. Because if I could listen, making money is one thing, but the impact of me just making money is selfish. The impact of me driving leaders, pushing leaders, growing companies, and growing those individuals within those companies, giving back to charities. That impact will span eternities and generations. Especially if my kids end up, or if my kids end up being delinquents, really, that's my legacy. What did I do as a leader? What did I do as a father?
Yeah,
But if I could create if my kids could then become leaders, I've got four of them. If I could create four of me, man, I really
that's
did
pretty
good by
cool,
society,
right?
right?
Yeah,
So
yeah. Legacy and giving back. And I'll kind of wrap that up into it's all about serving others. It's all about serving others. And as you serve others, you build your legacy. Um, that's beautiful. I've always said it's all about love. Yeah, and
yep.
that's what you're living all the time. Now close us out.
Ah, well,
If people
I
let me as you're thinking about this, include in your close how people can reach you, learn about you, get your
yeah,
book, um,
yeah,
and yeah, include that part of it too.
yeah. I will say it's never too late to accomplish to reach your dreams and your goals. So don't think that just because you've been shackled by this fear or by being conservative. You haven't been willing to take a chance or take a risk. I'm not telling you to go to the roulette table and bet it on red or black or
That's
a
not what
number.
we're saying. Yep,
No, it's
yep,
not what
yep.
we're saying. Take a calculated strategic risk and bet on
Educate
yourself.
yourself.
Educate yourself and bet on yourself. That it's never too late. There's two things that I do every day. Affirmations in the morning. You've got to believe it. You've got to believe that that your goals are attainable, and that be confident in yourself and your talents, skills, and abilities, and your ability to learn new things. And then self-reflection at night. Those two things you should do every day. You could buy my book on Amazon, Ego Strength. And ego strength is basically taking a look at yourself in the mirror and changing the things that you need to change to become the best version of yourself that you can become. I've got a website, www.chuckcuda.com. I blog on that website, about every other week. Not a lot of time to do too many blogs. You could reach me at CUDA at OPESCRE.com. That's my email. John, if you could put that up somewhere when we post this, that would be great.
Say that one
Uh,
more time.
it's CUDA at OPESCRE.com.
Okay, cool.
And I will respond. I make time for those who are willing to take the time.
Yeah, yeah. This has been amazing, and because it's been for me when my conversations with folks like you are relatable, right? Uh, I think they're that much more valuable. And when you say it's never too late, it's not too late, right? You heard that from a man who started his new life in prison, right? You talk about giving yourself an excuse if you choose to do that. And Chuck chose not to. And now he's living a life that of a wonderful family, of wonderful service, of lots of giving back. And sorry, Chuck, but you don't strike me as being anybody special, right?
That's right.
So, folks, it goes back to if he can do it, why not you? In anything. And some of the things we talked about is stop blaming, put on your big boy pants and get to it, right? Hard work does make a difference. Education does make a difference. And educating yourself on things you're interested in, especially things you're interested in, right? The more you learn, the more opportunities you're going to see, especially as you build that curiosity muscle that Chuck and I were talking about. And it can be really, really cool. And remember this last thing that we talked about. Life is full of bullshit, right? Life's not fair. And you know what? You plant that seed and you got to fertilize it. You got to water it. You got to keep putting shit on it. And,
Yep.
and it'll
Yep.
grow into something, if you just keep at it. So, Chuck, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for joining me and sharing your experience and your journey, because I know that there are folks out there who are going to get a lot out of it. And who knows, right? There might be someone in prison right now listening to this. There
Yeah.
might be somebody who just got laid off, who's now going to decide to get a vending route or to go to work for UPS part-time or to become a bartender. I mean, who knows,
Yeah.
right? But what an inspiring journey. Um, Anything else you want to say?
What you focus on expands. That's really it. I'll leave you with that.
Ooh,
What you
what you
focus on.
focus on expands.
Focus on growth, focus on yourself, focus on change, not social media and things that aren't going to serve a better purpose for you.
What you focus on expands. So if you focus on bullshit, folks, guess what?
Yep.
I love that.
That's exactly what made me think of that.
What you focus on expands. All right, Chuck, listen. Thank you for joining me. I love you. God bless you. Thank you for sharing the message of your life. And everybody out there, all right, please share this because there's someone in your life who who needs to hear what Chuck had to say. Okay. And with that, I love you. God bless you. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you.